Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's take a quick look at something called a subsurf modifier. Now, depending on what you're using Blender for, whether it's 3D printing, whether it's game development, or whether it's just to make architectural renders, one thing that you have to be very conscious about is the amount of geometry in here. So the more faces that we put in here, the harder it is going to be to render it. Okay, and the more detail, the harder it is to pretty much do anything. This doesn't have a lot of detail. Now, if this was, let's say, somewhere like 1996, this would be quite a bit of detail. But for the most part, for today, this is not a lot of detail. Let's go ahead and let's add in a modifier here. And so what you need to do is you need to add a modifier here, and by clicking this wrench here, and we'll just go ahead and add this subdivision and subsurface. Okay, so you can see here it kind of adds in a little bit of it makes it a little bit smoother here. Now, if you click this views, you can make it quite a bit here. Now, generally, if you want to make things rounder, you can just simply add the subsurface modifier here. Okay. Now, if we tab into edit mode, you can see that the subsurface, what it does is, even though you can see that the faces are here, and even if I click on this and extrude it, you can see that everything is now a little bit more rounded. So I'm just going to Control Z out of that. Let's tab back into object mode, and then let's go ahead and let's go apply this. Okay, and we're going to undo this, but I just want to show you something. If you're into major architecture models, you'll probably do this a lot more for architectural renders, just because you're not trying to do it in an interactive environment and you're not trying to print it. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to click apply. Now when we tab back into edit mode, you can see that there are a ton of more faces here. All right, now this is very CPU intensive. In fact, the amount of faces within this little table here would be probably just as much, if not more faces than you would see in a character in like a AAA game. There's a ton of faces in here, and if we were to put this into like Unreal Engine or Unity 3D, it would be a tremendous waste of rendering power, because the computer has to render each one of these faces right here. Now you can see here that it is selected here, and watch this, you can extrude, which actually looks really cool when you think about it. Now, if you're going for a simple, and by the way, you can move it up and down too. But anyway, that looks actually really cool. So if you're going for architectural renders, and you think that this table looks cool, and to a certain extent it actually does look kind of cool, it does look a little bit more modern, you're more than welcome to use this subsurface modifier. Of course, if you push Control Command Z, you can undo that here, and we get this back to here. This may look boring to you, but one of the things I like to do is I like to make things simple, so that not only they render, but I just like the aesthetic of simple. I'll see you guys next tutorial.